On today's recipe video, I'm making my Southwest potato hash, completely oil-free, vegan, whole food, plant-based. I hope you can stick around and see exactly how it's made. To get started on our Southwest hash brown potatoes, we're just gonna need a few simple ingredients, and those are, we have 3 cups of frozen diced potatoes. You can also use a frozen hash brown potato. The key is when you look for these at the grocery store, make sure that they don't have any added oils. Luckily, normally most don't, and you can find some great alternatives to, say, an oily French fry, but these diced oil-free potatoes are great. They're frozen, so we have 3 cups of those. We have 1 cup of cooked black beans. Now, these have been cooked, even my easy Instant Pot black beans, and then we've also drained and rinsed them. There's a little bit of liquid in there. That is okay. And we have 1 cup of a pepper and onion blend. Now this is also found near the potatoes in the frozen section. You can use fresh, cut, diced bell peppers and onions. You can even add in some sliced jalapeno if you'd like, but any will work. This one, just again, easy. It's oil-free, and you can find it in the frozen food section. And then our spices, I'm gonna keep it really simple and basic. You can always add on more spices and any spice that you'd like or you prefer, but we have 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of onion powder, and then 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground black pepper. And then again, like most of my recipes, we're gonna go in and add in some sauces. So we will have some salt in it by means of sauces as our vehicle for the salt, but you can always, if you don't want to put any salt or any sauces or any salt, you don't have to use any of that, but you can always add in a little salt if you'd prefer in the seasoning. We just prefer not to. But I'm gonna put it all in a bowl here. So we've got our potatoes, our beans, and we have the peppers, and then some black pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. Now I'm just gonna give it a good little mix. You do not have to be super specific, and we're not trying to coat anything or do anything of that. We're just trying to get those spices mixed in, make sure it gets all mixed into one even mixture. Now I will say I do have the oven preheated to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. And to bake these, because we aren't going to be using any oil, but we can get them crisp. I promise you, we can get this crisp. We are going to be using a baking sheet that has been lined with parchment paper. You can also use a silicone baking mat if you'd prefer. This looks good. Now I'm just going to go ahead and lay that out and put our mixture on there. Really simple, right? Just mix it up for a few seconds. Make sure it gets all on there. We do not want to waste any. And then I'm just going to go through and level it all out. The more you have, the bigger the baking sheet. Or the bigger the baking sheet you need. Or if you need to make more, you might need a bigger baking sheet. But that looks great. Now I am going to put this in at 425 degrees. The total time is going to be from anywhere from 40 to 50 minutes, but I'm gonna put this in for 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna come in, mix it up, make sure that nothing stays on the top, it gets nice and mixed in there, and then I'll put it in for another 20 to 30 minutes. Hopefully 40 minutes should be good with this. With the frozen, with ovens, it always varies a little bit, but I'm gonna get this in there, and then we'll be back after about 20 minutes. I'll get it turned, and then we'll get going with the rest of our recipe. All right, our 20-minute timer just went off. Grab a hot pad here. Whew. Smells delicious already. So we will set this here. Now again, all I'm gonna do is just mix it around. I just wanna make sure that nothing sets there up on top for that whole 40 minutes, because that is going to give it a good chance to burn. But if we go in and give it a good turn, we shouldn't have any burning, and we should have a nice and crispy Southwest potato bake. Make sure those get back on there. And then we're just gonna wanna go ahead, spread it out once more, nice and evenly. Ooh, there's our timer. I'm gonna set that for another 20 minutes. And then we will be back And I'm gonna go in, it'll be 20 to about 30 more minutes. We're gonna check at that 20-minute mark, and hopefully we'll be all ready to go. So I'm gonna get these back in the oven, and I'll see you very shortly. Our 20-minute timer just went off, so a total of 40 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and check them out. Always enjoy the blast of hot air you get from there, but this looks awesome. I'll just set it right here so we can all see. We've got great cooked potatoes. The onions have broken down. The peppers have broken down. Now I will mention, the crispier you want it, you can always leave it in for a bit longer. You know, you leave it in for another 10 minutes. It's just gonna crisp up even more. But we can see we don't have mushy potatoes. They've held together nicely. We've got a great bake here. Now I went ahead and got out some sriracha, which I think most of you know is my favorite sauce. But I'm gonna go ahead, add some on my plate here. And probably, but I'll just use my hand a little bit. All right. We've got the black beans and the peppers and the onions and the potatoes. It looks delicious. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add on some sriracha, make it nice and hot. And we're gonna go ahead and we'll give it a bite and get some pepper and onions. That is fantastic. Just a great recipe. Hopefully you saw how simple it was. Again, you can always use fresh potatoes that you dice up and fresh onions and peppers that you chop up. But if you're like me and you live a busy life like myself and Dr. Miller and so many of you that I know, this is a great option. You have your bags of frozen diced potatoes, frozen pepper and onions, and you have the beans, whether you cooked it or you have it in a can. We can throw it together and in less than an hour have a great cooked meal for 2 to 3 people. And a bigger baking sheet, you can always add in more. Again, you can make this recipe as large as you'd like. Add in more spices. This has a great spice mix there to it, just the garlic and onion and peppers, and so it all comes together well. I really hope that you guys go ahead and give it a try. If you did like today's video, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and comment down below what you want to have on top of this or how you would prepare this any differently. I'd love to hear it. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button and like the page. And like I said before, this recipe, my past recipes, and all my future recipes can be found at plantbasedgabriel.com. I am Plant-Based Gabriel here with my Southwest hash potatoes, and I hopefully will see you very, very soon. I'm gonna dig in.